First, I'd like to say thanks to Nick. That was a great speech. Loved it. Good evening, and congratulations to the Mountain Brook High School class of 2011. We made it. Graduation is finally here. It seems like it was just yesterday that we had our first day of kindergarten class, or our first awkward, nervous day of school at the junior high. It was just yesterday that we strolled into the mall, excited about actually being at the real high school. And here we are now, equally excited about what we have achieved and the opportunities that lie ahead. But as we stand here on the threshold of stepping out into the real world and assuming responsibility for ourselves, I'm sure each of us is wondering, what lies ahead? What are we leaving behind? And it's in an attempt to answer those very questions, and in staying true to the theme of the social network as set forth by my fellow speakers, the focus of my speech is the topic of friendship. Now, I must admit that the thought of giving this speech, a speech of this importance, made me extremely nervous. When you have to give a speech, everyone's eyes are on you. They remember every good and bad thing you say, or so I thought. It was out of this nervousness that I thought back to the speakers at both my brother's and sister's high school graduations, hoping to find some words of wisdom. Well, it turns out I can't remember a single word that they said. But there are two things I would like to encourage everyone from our class to remember in the years to come. One is to do your best to keep the friends that you have now, and two is to look to make friends in the future. Now, I know that this may sound a little dull and boring, but please bear with me. So back to my first point, making sure that you keep the friends that you have now for the years to come. At a time like this, as we end one chapter of our lives and begin a new one, it's easy to think that we'll lose many of the things that we had before, especially our friends. In fact, several of my friends have told me, Wilson, after high school, I really hope we can stay in touch. I hope we can still be friends. Now that I look back on those conversations, I realize that we were completely wrong in our way of thinking. It was not that we would have to hope that our friendship would turn out well. We would have to know it. No, don't hope. I'll tell you what I mean. Do you think that Michael Jordan hoped that he would play professional basketball when he was cut from his high school team? Jordan knew he was going to play basketball in the NBA, and he knew that he would do anything to get there. No, don't hope. Do you think that Bill Gates simply hoped that his product would sell? That his company would be successful? No. He knew he was onto something big, and he put all of his effort into that cause. No, don't hope. Do you think that Albert Einstein hoped his theories were correct, or do you think he made numerous calculations and computations to make sure he knew he was right? No, don't hope. It is this same idea that we must embrace in our friendships, if not in life. Know that you will stay in touch with your friends and act to keep them instead of passively hoping they will stay with you. Why, you might ask? Well, it was the famous author Robert Louis Stevenson who said, "So long as we love, we serve. So long as we are loved by others, I would almost say that we are indispensable. And no man is useless while he has a friend." This is why I encourage all of you to do your best to be sure to keep your old friends. Now to my second point. Look to make friends in the future. It was an old Roman philosopher named Seneca who once said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." I believe that it is through our relationships with others that we define our existence, that we define the quality of our lives. Because after career ladders, after money, cars, big houses, and other material things, when all of that is gone, your friends are what remain. Lasting, loyal, caring. And if we fail to look past our first impressions of others, and in doing so, if we fail to make them our friends, we will fall short of true happiness. Furthermore, as much as friendship is a selfish concept, it is also a selfless idea. I'll say it again. So friendship is a selfish concept, but a selfless idea. Because when our time on this earth is done, we are not remembered by what we will take with us, but rather by what we leave behind. We are remembered by what we have done for others. And every missed friend is the loss of another opportunity to help others and truly make the world extraordinary. So remember to look to make friends in the future. And finally, class of 2011, if you remember nothing else that I've said to you today, perhaps you will remember the words of Paul McCartney and the Beatles. I get by with a little help from my friends. It has truly been a pleasure getting by with all